I'm TarotOracle, and this is the court card view on reversed queens. So we've done reversed pages, we've done reversed knights. Now it's time for queens, and this is pretty cool because queens are wet and cool. They're watery, but reversed. Now looking at non-supportive. If you're looking for that support structure, if you're looking for all of that good stuff that they bring with the nurturing and the supportive structure, it's not really going to be there. It's going to be difficult to sort of get that out. It's still possible depending upon the cards around it. And that's one of the things I want to talk about as well, right? Is what is going on with court cards, especially reversed court cards. One of the biggest factors that you have working against you here is a lot of discrepancies between the different definitions. So if I pick up the book by Kate Warwick, it may be a lot different than the Lisa Robertson book, which may be a bit different than the Mary Kate Greer book, etc. I mean, we have hundreds and hundreds of these. So why is it so confusing is because a lot of different definitions for different court cards based upon, what is there. The other difficult part, again, is the sheer number of keywords that you have for just one card. So you could have literally 50 keywords if you combine all of the books together for the exact same card. I mean, where do you go from there type of thing? So I'm presenting you with just my take on what they mean. The other part about why it's confusing is sometimes you have a good side and a bad side when you get reversed. So, that doesn't apply to the Queen of Swords is bad all around. But the Queen of Wands literally has a good side and a bad side, depending upon what book you pick up. For example, the good side it just says good. Like, what am I going to do with that? Good. And then economical. And then on the bad side, it will say deceit, deception, lies when you come into like the cups or something like that. So, you're looking at just totally different definitions. There's not one thing. At least when I see the Three of Swords, I have a consistent definition. I have a consistent way of reading it. But when we get into some of the court cards, especially reversed, then it's kind of confusing sometimes. So let's look at just general, right? We come into a court card. Let's say the Queen reversed, Queen of Wands reversed. It influences the cards around it. So the Queen of Wands next to the Ten of Cups is going to influence that card. Again, it could bring negativity, it could bring positivity, but it's definitely bringing that water element. It's definitely bringing definitions into the cards around it. So it's affecting everything around it. And I talk about this in my new book, the card combos, about what happens when you have cards around other cards. And the queens, or court cards especially, are going to be totally different based upon what is around them. They don't live on an island. You know what I'm saying? They don't live on an island. They're not by themselves. They have other cards around them, and that affects how you read. The other thing that could be affected as well is a court card could mean people. So if I have a court card for a job opportunity and the Queen of Wands reversed is there, we could be looking at somebody with those personality traits that is there. If we have a group of people, we could have a group of court cards that represent these people. If somebody asks you, I'm on a date, what do you think about this person? And the Knight of Cups drops in. The Knight of Cups is Mr. Romance. We could be looking at, a lot of romance, someone that's very romantic. So the court card definitions could be influenced by the people that they represent. So again, it could be affecting cards around it. For example, a page brings messages. A page is a newbie. A page is a beginner. It's going to affect, what are the messages about? The messages could be about heartbreak. If the page is next to the Three of Swords, the messages could be about opportunities for a job. You could have all of sorts of things. So let's sort of, keeping that in mind, just as a general rule, keeping that in mind, let's jump into the Queen of Wands reversed. Again, good, bad, works, the good. This is the CEO, and she's flipped upside down, she's able to, the good part, again, there's good and bad on some of these. The good part is she works with you. She'll be willing to negotiate some things out. If we're in a court case, the other party, we want to know what they're doing. You know, the CEO, even reversed, she'll work with you. She handles adversity, and she's, you know, fairly supportive. So that supportive, nurturing combination that we have with the Queen survives even when she is reversed. But again, it depends on what book you pick up. It depends on the style that you want to read with, etc., etc. But for the good side, the CEO is willing to work with you. Now, there is a bad side to this as well. Which one do you choose, you ask? Look around. Look around. If we have all of these amazing cards around this, like the 10 of Cups is there, the 2 of Cups, the 3 of Cups, we have the Ace of Pentacles, we have the 2 of Swords. If we have, you know, decent cards around this, we could be looking at some good aspects. If we have nothing but garbage around it, we could be looking at bad things. So the Queen of Wands reversed being right next to the 10 of Swords, and then on the other side is the Devil, we could be looking at the bad side. So again, look at the cards around it. Get your fix for what you see around it. So the CEO reversed is talking about deceit. She's willing to lie. She's willing to get her own way when she needs it. She's also talking about jealousy. So if you have a relationship, you have a partner that you're dating, are they a bit on the jealous side? They could be. The Queen of Wands is around there. The Queen of Wands next to the 2 of Cups could have a little bit of the jealousy in there. Could have a little bit of that jealousy. Revenge is a big thing too. She's not just going to forgive and forget. She's going to have a problem with that when reversed. So sort of keep that in mind. Again, what cards are around? What cards are going to affect this reading? No card sits by itself on an island. Unless you're doing one card readings, and then you have to wing it. But, I mean, most times you got a couple of cards around it. One of the other problems with the Queen of Wands reversed, she just can't agree on anything. You have issues. You have drama. Why do you need to disagree with everything? You're really sort of spoiling the pot at some point when you just can't make up your mind. You just don't like anybody else's opinion. You have a problem getting things going just because you're stubborn in some aspects. We have a couple of other stubborn cards as well, but I mean, when she is reversed, she definitely leans on that stubbornness. The other problem is a bit of the overpowering and controlling aspect we have of the Queen of Wands. And that could manifest itself with the Devil around her. Could manifest itself with, let's say, the 2 of Swords or the 8 of Swords, where you're just boxed in with the 8 of Swords. You're blinded in the 2 of Swords. You could be being overpowered. You could be being controlled, manipulated. That's a big part of the Queen of Wands being reversed. Who is she going to manipulate? She can do it with the deceit, the lies, the planning, the cunning that she had in the earlier slide, but you got to sort of watch out for this. And the last thing is she used to be the chameleon, but now, again, we have the disagree. Can't seem to agree with anybody, just has problems, can't blend in like she could once she was right side up, etc. So it sort of brings us to the Queen of Swords. Now, Queen of Swords did have sort of a bad rap, and that was Cruella de Vil. So the Queen of Swords actually doesn't improve at all as far as the good, the bad, and the ugly. The Queen of Swords does not really improve, even when she's reversed. So the good and the bad combo that we had for the Queen of Wands doesn't really affect the Queen of Swords at all. She seems to be possibly even worse when she is reversed. Now, one of the bad things about the Cruella de Vil, when you flip her upside down, is the scams and the tricks. So it's all about being schemed. It's all about being scammed. You know, when you have somebody ask me, or when I have somebody ask me, are we going to reconcile? Or my ex-boyfriend called, and what does he want? You get the Queen of Swords reversed around that reading, looking at scams, bad plans, lies. This is no good. This is not a good card for that reading because you could be looking at something pretty bad as far as they have an agenda. They're not calling you to see how you're doing. They have an agenda. Of course, they're going to say how you doing. Oh, and by the way, let's do this and that and this and that, you know. But again, we're looking at scams and tricks. Lies could be bringing in falsehoods, could be having problems getting the truth out of this person, and bad plans as well. So if we're planning a trip and we're about to head off on this beautiful trip and all of a sudden the Queen of Swords upside down shows up, could be looking at poor planning. Could be looking at you get there and some of the stuff is closed. You get there and the flight's canceled. I mean, bad plans in general. Sort of watch out for that. The Queen of Swords in general being reversed is, you know, not too good. The other thing about that is the cheating, you know, the is he be cheating, the breaking up, drama. In general, she's going to bring a lot of these aspects with her. And that's going to be a problem when you're trying to get a good read or a good feel for where you want to go in a relationship. You want to get something improving. You don't want cheating. You don't want the drama. The Queen of Swords reversed is going to be difficult to deal with in general. Right side up, she's difficult to deal with. Reversed, maybe even worse. That's going to be a problem for you as you come into this. So again, depends on the cards around her. When she has, let's say, the Three of Swords around her, that's a big problem. That's a big problem. Talking about breaking up, talking about plans being destroyed, talking about drama, talking about a lot of issues going in here, and that Queen of Swords reversed next to the Three of Swords is just a bad mix. It's not going to be a good soup to eat. It's just a bad mix. And you're looking at the lies to see the drama, the bad plans, all the bad things about this next to the Three of Swords makes it even worse. So as far as cheating goes, you could be looking at the Queen of Swords reversed next to the Four of Cups. You don't like the options that you're receiving. You don't like these opportunities that people are giving you. And it ends up being a problem. It ends up being a problem. So then you're going to go elsewhere and shop around for a different relationship. So you could be looking at cheating, especially the lies, the bad plans, things like that. Now, when you look at the Two of Wands, the Dominion, as we're coming into the Two of Wands space, around there, again, you're looking for other options. The Two of Wands, the Three of Wands, you're looking around. We're shopping for other options with love. And is that a bad thing? Absolutely. With the Queen of Swords, if you're trying to get into a committed relationship, could have issues with that. Now, let's move into the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is the water of water. It is the ultimate in emotional harmony. It is emotional, just flowing with emotions, heavy intuition, that very thick Pisces field where you just sort of go with what you know. And you just go with your intuition. And the next plan, the next thing that you have is going to be intuitive based. So when she gets reversed, we're talking about lies. Can't make up her mind. A bad temper. Turns on the last minute. It's that... It's sort of that angry Scorpio feel that we have, you know, when you don't really want to make a Scorpio too angry because they're gonna remember all of the things that they dislike, and they're gonna name them off one by one, and you know. So, but some of that though, as far as the bad temper is concerned, it sort of comes back and bites you. You could be heavy with emotions, the water of water. Very wet card, but when reversed, those emotions turn into bad emotions. A bad temper turns on you, just reverses course. You thought we were getting into a relationship and everything was going well, and then all of a sudden it goes to crap. Lies as well. I want my way, and I'm willing to tell you whatever I can think up in order to get my way. So again, we have another problem. A lot of these emotional lies. We lie, obviously, to get what we want. We lie to save face. We lie to save our butt, right? So sometimes lies just flow out in order to get what we want or to save our butt. Again, turns on you. It just isn't very reliable. The pentacle feel that we have with like the Queen of Pentacles, for example, just isn't here, especially reversed. It's more of a random flow. It's more of a mix-up. It's more of a problem as we sort of get into that. And the biggest problem here is sort of rumors and gossip. Rumors and gossip likes to get into your stuff, likes to get into your affairs. This is the kind of person that's going to, you invite them into your house, they go to the bathroom and they start rifling through all your stuff to see what you got. This is one of those. This is one of those. If they're alone and you aren't there, they could be rifling through your stuff. You never know. They're going to be trying to dig up anything they can. If they're reversed the Queen of Cups, you got to watch out. It likes to be all in your stuff. And as well as has a problem finishing things. Again, we have the sort of the page feel to where the page has problem finishing some things, but but a king would be more reliable with that. So again, we have sort of that feeling here. Problems getting to the end, problems getting to the finish line. So not a good marathon runner. Not a good marathon runner at all. So the Queen of Pentacles, the instability of the watery earth that is now reversed, could be talking about sickness. This is one of the few cards where you see in most of the books we'll talk about literal sickness is the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Now that's a key point. And if you're on my Patreon, you'll see the queens have I have a cheat sheet, and sickness actually comes up. Sickness is one of the very few cards in the decks that will point to literal sickness. Also can't make up our mind. We're going back and forth. And we rely on the Queen of Pentacles for the stability, don't we? We rely on that pentacle feel. We rely on that pentacle stability, that earthy feel. And once that is reversed, we lose that stable. We get into this airheadedness to where I can't remember stuff. I don't remember what I was supposed to do. I'm not sure about what I'm supposed to do. And then the problem of I can't seem to make up my mind. I'm not sure what to do. I don't know. If I were right side up, I would, because I'm a pentacle. The pentacles know what they want to do. They have that stability. They have good plans. They know where they're going. But now we're just almost random. But remember the sickness. It was a key point. Very few cards literally say sickness, and you see it in almost every book. All right. The other thing is the vengefulness that is back. The vengefulness is back from the Cups, but it's back in the Queen of Pentacles. They do remember the things that you did. They do, and it could be spiteful and vengeful. All right. Before we talk about my Patreon, obviously, I do have a Patreon, by the way. Again, let's repeat the queen is all about the cards around it. It affects the cards around it. It does not live on an island. Good, bad, indifferent. It's all about how you read it and what cards are influencing it. And again, it talks about people too. So this could be the person that you're meeting. Tell me about my future spouse. Well, I pull a court card and I've watched these videos. Now I know all about your future spouse. I can tell you for a long time how it's going to go. So you have that reliability of the court card. So just remember that. Again, so many books, so many definitions. So hopefully this gives you a kickstart. Speaking of Kickstarter, I'm on a Kickstarter. I'm on my Kickstarter. Check out the Waterfall Tarot. But let's talk about the Patreon. I do have a Patreon, and I got 45 minutes. We got a ton of people in there. Why are they on Patreon? Well, you get the Fluffy Virgo Lenormand is included. You get all my books, my Tarot Oracles book. You get my new book for free when it comes out. And you get the court card guide, all the handouts for these. You get the cheat sheets for the court cards as well, and all of that good stuff. In addition, I have literally 15 hours of teaching you how to draw animals. I'm literally teaching you how to draw like a professional course, to where I tell you that I'm using this pencil. This is the technique. Here is the technique summaries of how to do this. I mean, tons and tons of people have watched this, and you can make money. You just go and post these animal pictures to your local Facebook groups on your city, And people will be like, sure, paint my dog, pat, whatever. And I have cheats to where you can do it in a few hours. This is not like an all day thing. So again, I do 4 or 5 hours. I can create everything you see on the screen. So that is how it goes. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. And I appreciate you hanging out for more court card action.